The late afternoon sunlight streamed through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the executive lounge at Sterling Financial Tower, casting a golden glow across the polished marble floors and elegant leather seating. The exclusive space was reserved for the building's most prestigious clients and executives, a sanctuary of wealth and influence high above the bustling city streets. 36-year-old Victoria Sterling stood near the panoramic windows, her blonde hair perfectly styled, and her cream-colored business suit reflecting the authority of someone who had inherited one of the largest financial empires in the country. Her pearl earrings caught the light as she turned to address the small gathering of fellow executives and wealthy clients who had assembled for their monthly networking reception. Victoria had built her reputation on maintaining the highest standards in everything she touched, from the companies she acquired to the social circles she cultivated. She believed that success required clear boundaries and that mixing different social classes led to complications that weakened both business relationships and social structures. As Victoria was discussing a recent acquisition with her board members, she noticed something that immediately disrupted her sense of order and propriety. A man in a dark maintenance uniform with a name tag reading Ryan had entered the exclusive lounge, and beside him stood a little girl who appeared to be about 5 years old, with light brown hair and wearing a pink dress while clutching a teddy bear. 32-year-old Ryan Mitchell had worked as a janitor at Sterling Financial Tower for 3 years, taking pride in maintaining the building's pristine appearance while supporting his daughter Emma as a single father. He typically worked the evening shift, cleaning offices and common areas after the business day ended, and he had never had reason to enter the executive areas during business hours. Today was different because Emma's daycare had closed unexpectedly due to a water main break, and Ryan had no other childcare options. His supervisor had given him permission to bring Emma to work with him, with the understanding that she would stay in the maintenance areas while he completed his essential duties. Emma had been sitting quietly in the janitor's supply room, coloring in her activity book while Ryan finished some urgent repairs that could not wait until evening. But when Emma had asked to use the restroom, Ryan had mistakenly directed her toward the executive facilities, not realizing that they were located within the restricted lounge area. As Ryan hurried to catch up with Emma, he found himself in the elegant executive space, clearly out of place in his work uniform among the impeccably dressed business leaders. Victoria immediately spotted the intrusion and felt her composure sharpen into the authoritative tone she used when addressing violations of company policy or social protocol. "Excuse me," Victoria called out in a voice that carried across the lounge and caused conversations to stop. "You do not belong here. This is a private executive area, and I need you to leave immediately." Every person in the lounge turned to look at Ryan, who felt the weight of their collective judgment and disapproval. He was accustomed to being invisible during his work, completing his duties efficiently while the building's important occupants went about their business without acknowledging his presence. Ryan looked at Victoria with quiet dignity, understanding her position, but also knowing that he had a responsibility that transcended workplace hierarchies and social boundaries. "I am here for my daughter," Ryan said simply, his voice calm but firm. "She needed to use the restroom, and I was making sure she was safe." Emma emerged from the nearby facilities at that moment, immediately sensing the tension in the room. She moved closer to her father, clutching her teddy bear more tightly while looking around at all the adults who seemed upset about something. Victoria looked at the little girl and felt a moment of confusion. She had expected the janitor to apologize and retreat immediately, accepting her authority without question. Instead, he had responded with a simple statement that somehow changed the entire dynamic of the situation. "Daddy," Emma said quietly, "are we in trouble?" Ryan knelt down to Emma's level, speaking in the gentle tone he always used when she was worried or confused. "No, sweetheart. We just ended up in the wrong place by accident. We will go back to where we belong in just a moment." Something about Ryan's interaction with his daughter caused Victoria to pause and really look at them both for the first time. She saw a father who was clearly devoted to his child's well-being, who spoke to her with respect and love despite being in a potentially embarrassing situation. Emma looked up at Victoria with the directness that only children possess. "My daddy works very hard to take care of me. He cleans this whole building every day so it stays pretty for everyone." Victoria felt something shift in her chest as she realized that her first reaction had been to judge and exclude rather than to understand the circumstances that had led to this moment. "Emma, is it?" Victoria asked, her tone softening as she addressed the child. Emma nodded. "Yes, ma'am, and this is my daddy, Ryan. He is the best daddy in the whole world." Victoria looked at Ryan with new eyes, seeing past his work uniform to recognize the dignity and love that Emma saw in him every day. "Mr. Mitchell," Victoria said, "I apologize for my reaction. I did not realize you were here because of your daughter's needs." Ryan stood up, still holding Emma's hand. "I understand that we are not supposed to be in this area, Ms. Sterling. We will leave immediately." "Actually," Victoria said, surprising everyone in the lounge, including herself, "would you and Emma like to join us? We were just having refreshments and conversation, and I think some of our guests might enjoy meeting such a polite young lady." The other executives looked at Victoria with obvious confusion, clearly uncertain about this unexpected breach of their usual social protocols. Emma looked up at her father for permission, her eyes bright with curiosity about the elegant surroundings and the possibility of talking with new people. "Emma would enjoy that," Ryan said carefully, "but I need to finish my work duties." "Your work can wait," Victoria said with the authority of someone who owned the building. "Right now, you are a father spending time with his daughter, and that is more important than any maintenance schedule." Over the following hour, Victoria watched Ryan interact with Emma and with the other guests who gradually warmed to the little girl's innocent charm and obvious intelligence. She saw how Ryan answered Emma's questions with patience and respect, how he encouraged her natural curiosity while teaching her to be polite and considerate of others. What impressed Victoria most was Ryan's lack of resentment or bitterness about her initial treatment of him. He engaged in conversation with genuine interest and dignity, never making anyone feel uncomfortable about the class differences that had seemed so important moments earlier. "Ryan," Victoria said as the reception was ending, "I want to offer you a position in our corporate facilities management department. It would involve overseeing building operations for all our properties, with regular business hours and a salary that would allow you to spend more time with Emma." Ryan looked at Victoria with surprise and gratitude. "Ms. Sterling, that is an incredibly generous offer, but I want you to know that I take pride in the work I do now. I am not ashamed of being a janitor." "I know you are not," Victoria replied, "and I am not offering you this position because I think there is anything wrong with your current work. I am offering it because I recognize your competence, your character, and your dedication to your daughter. Those are the qualities I want in my management team." 6 months later, Ryan had successfully transitioned to his new role and was earning the respect of colleagues throughout the company. Emma often visited the office after school, charming everyone with her bright personality and love of learning. Victoria had learned that her assumptions about class and social boundaries had been limiting her ability to recognize talent and character. She had implemented new policies that created pathways for advancement for all employees, regardless of their starting positions. Most importantly, Victoria discovered that her initial judgment of Ryan had revealed more about her own prejudices than about his worth. Emma's simple statement that her daddy worked hard to take care of her had reminded Victoria that the most important measure of a person is not their job title or social status, but their love for the people who depend on them. Ryan learned that standing up for his principles and his love for Emma had opened doors he never could have imagined. His quiet response to Victoria's challenge had demonstrated that true dignity comes not from the work we do, but from the integrity we bring to every situation and every relationship. And Emma grew up knowing that her father's love and character were more valuable than any amount of money or social status, and that the best people are those who judge others by their hearts rather than their circumstances.